This is the 2024 Lexus RCF, one of the last true F sports cars, and it has a V8. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines, and today I'm gonna go over the 2024 Lexus RCF in the performance package. But before I get into it, make sure you hit like and subscribe for more Lexus related content. Okay, so let's look at the front end. This particular RCF is colored in the flare yellow, very metallic, beautiful color paint. On the front, we have this beautiful big F Sport Series grille. Now, I'm not used to seeing them without the front plate, which I kind of like the way this looks without the front plate. And I wish that on Ontario roads we could do that, but we can't. So this is what it looks like without the front plate. We do have some smoked out chrome along the outside of that very F Sport Series grille. The grille itself actually is a metallic black, which is interesting. It's not fully blacked out, and we have some real air ducts at the bottom that create some air to go to those front tires and front brakes. Under that, we have a little bit of body color sort of at the bottom lip, and another F Sport continued venting on the side, which is actually active, which is always nice to see. The hood is where we see a bit more of that F. So you can see here right in the center, we have a vent. That's how you can tell that it's an F instead of just a regular RC 350 and 300. And I know it's hard to tell on the camera, but there is some body lines there as well. Sort of coming up from just outside that Lexus emblem, we have a little bit of a body line here, but it tapers away and stops. And another one sort of right beside the other style of vent. And again, that gives it just a little bit more aggression. And actually, you'll notice if you parked this beside an RC 350 or 300, the way that the hood sort of curves down is a little different because of that massive engine underneath. It's just a little bit different of like a front end. It's not the same as the normal RC. So as we get to the side profile, I have to stop at this massive front brake here. So on the outside, we have a very F-specific wheel and some really nice Pilot Sport 4S's. But behind the wheel, we have some slotted rotors, and it's a big brake kit. And I think it's a 6-piston brake caliper. And even on the highway, if you ever see an F car, so an RCF, even like an older ISF, you'll notice that that brake, or the GSF actually is a good one, that brake really stands out, and it's always a different color than just being black or dark gray or something like that. Usually it's like an orange, which this one it is, and the wheel really doesn't do it justice if you've ever seen the photos online. In person, there is a little bit more texture and layers to it, and it is really impressive. It has like a matte finish, and then the front is kind of like a brushed aluminum, just the angles and stuff like that. It's a little more three-dimensional than looking at it online kind of says. Now, if I just move back a little bit, we'll see we have our true F badge, and it's different than the F Performance badge and the F Sport badge. This is the true F badge. And then that very F, again, I'm using F a lot, but I mean it, have venting here on the little quarter panel. Other than that, if we just sort of take an overall look, the RCF is sort of like a little bit of a chopped off coupe. And what I mean by that is I'm 6'1", I'm towering over where that roof is, and it kind of just looks super sleek. You can see the way that the silhouette goes is it's got a very low roof line, and I really like that about it. It kind of reminds me of like one of those chop top hot rods from back in the day. Being that this one's the performance package, we have a full carbon roof, and as I get to the back, you'll see a full carbon active spoiler. The really cool thing about any carbon on Lexuses is most of the time they're built from the same factory that originally built the LFA. And when they designed the LFA to be full carbon fiber, Lexus said this will pay off in the future when we're incorporating carbon fiber into other cars in the lineup. And here it is. And that's why we have the carbon fiber roof and the carbon fiber active spoiler, which is what I really like. Towards the back, we have that RCF emblem with sort of the classic RC tails. It's just what we've used in the same design language in the last couple of years or what we've seen. However, underneath, we have this diffuser and its body color, which is always nice to see, with some piano black above it and the true 4 quad exhausts on top of each other. Now that used to be only an F, like an F styling, so with the GSF and the RCF and the original ISF, but now we see it on the IS500 as well. And that's sort of angled quad exhausts that sort of aren't perfectly lined up, and I really like that for the design. Okay, so before I get in the RCF, I just want to show you the door panel a little bit. So we have some ultra suede, sort of like Alcantara type material on where your arm goes, and a really beautiful carbon bezel for where the door switches are. And since this one has the white trim seats, we also have some white leather in the center of that. And overall, there's definitely just some high materials on that door. And the door's pretty heavy too, I will say that. Okay, so sitting in the RCF, it is very comfortable. Like, these seats are next level. They look really sporty, but it's sporty in all the right places and comfy in all the right places, if that makes sense. So posture-wise, I feel really good about it. Seats, they have a really good structure to them. It's not really the same as any other seat in the lineup, I think. I think this is a unique seat to the RCF. Inside, we have more of that sort of Alcantara ultra suede in the center, which I really like. And the roof isn't Alcantara, it's actually just like a regular, synthetic material. The steering wheel is really unique. So it's actually perforated the whole circumference except for the bottom. So usually on the F Performance and F Sports, we see it just when you put your hands on the sides, but this is in the center as well. And on the Track Edition, I think there's even a line in the center, which is always really cool. It's trimmed off by some blue stitching. So that's a really nice detail that a lot of people can't tell from online, but there is blue stitching on the steering wheel. We have the newer, but not newest, screen and Lexus multimedia interface. So what I mean by that is it is the touchscreen and has the pad in the center. So it's not the newest one where there's no pad. It still has a touchscreen aspect to it, but it still has this pad here. We have the drive modes, so Sport Plus and Sport, Normal, Custom, and Eco. And then because of this one is the performance package, we can even hit launch. So I think that might be part of that differential that comes on it. Interesting that on the RCs that are like the 350 and up, the knobs for the volume and for the tuning are sort of like a little bit different of a texture. It's almost like a soft texture. I feel like I can break it easy, but it's really nice to touch. And it has a really unique climate control. So what I mean by that is how you control your climate control is you just sort of like run your finger up and down this little tube that's off to the side. It is really cool. I mean, I'm just gonna set mine and leave it, but it is kind of cool when you go to do that. That bezel itself is like a brushed sort of material. It's all blacked out. And then we have the white on the sides. There is more carbon in here too. So right in front of the passenger, we have a little panel there that's carbon and a little panel up here that's more Alcantara ultra suede with more blue stitching. So all these little details sort of add up to be a very luxurious and high-end interior, one of the highest end interiors, I think, in terms of materials. And that's what really sets the RCF separate from like a normal sports car, I would say. Okay, so who is the RCF for? And let's talk about the powertrain. So as I mentioned, we have a normally aspirated 5-liter V8 under the hood with an 8-speed transmission. And the driving experience is a smooth power delivery that seems tameable. So it's not over the top. You don't feel like you're gonna spit out, and you can definitely drive it every day. So that answers the question, in my opinion, who the RCF is for. Someone for this car should be someone that wants to daily drive it because it's a reliable Lexus and can be put into that, more comfortable mode where you can drive it every single day, but still take it for the track once in a while. Because it being a true F, we have those big brakes, those sticky tires, and all of the other components that would make it still sort of a fun weekend track car that you wouldn't have to trailer at the same time. Or if you just appreciate the sound of a V8 and want to get your hands on one of the last ones, the RCF could be that car for you. So let me know in the comments below, would you pick up an RCF before they inevitably stop making them at some point? Let me know. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.